Well, good afternoon. Welcome to Horsin Around Hope Haven. I'm Talitha.
And I'm Krista.
And we are here today. Honestly, we are trying to build up some content for our website, which we don't even have yet because we are in the baby stages of building our nonprofit. You know, right now we have been running a junior rodeo club and a junior rodeo event for the Boise County community. We've sustained all of it so far with just our own income. But what we've realized this year is that sometimes as dreams grow, so does the need for outside help. And we are no longer able to keep things going at capacity and at the rate that people are asking for us to do things by ourselves. So last year we had this really awesome opportunity to sit down with the guys from the Jack Pine Rodeo.
Yeah.
Those guys have such big hearts for the community and for kids, and they are always trying to reach out and help. And they had heard about our junior rodeo club. And they sat down with us, and the first thing they said was, why don't you have a nonprofit? We've been running everything just through ourselves, and with the help of some amazing neighbors, because we have really great community up here. And I thought, well, why don't we have a nonprofit? And one was because it's a little intimidating.
Yeah,
the paperwork,
it's a lot.
the cost to start up a nonprofit is actually surprisingly steep. I did not realize what I was getting into when I started that process. It took us a little bit. So we actually started Horsin Around Hope Haven, the business entity and nonprofit, just last August, and that was at the prompting of our friends at the Jack Pine Rodeo. And we got that part going because we realized that our goals and our dreams were not going to be sustainable. Today I was reading through the Bible, and in Proverbs 30 it talks about, Lord, give me not poverty or excess. I can't remember the exact words. This is a paraphrase, but it says, I don't want so much that I forget that you are the Lord, and I do not want so little that I steal and defame the name of my Lord. So I was reading that and I thought, you know, that's where our hearts are. We are not out trying to make money at all. We aren't trying to pay ourselves. There's a helicopter, pardon us. We are just
coming through.
There's a combination of dogs, roosters, and helicopters right now. This is our lives.
This is our lives. Welcome to Horsin
Around Hope Haven. But as I was reading that, I realized that's where our hearts are. We're not trying to make money. We just don't want to have to cut back on any of the opportunities that we have. And the outreach that we've been able to do with what we've been given. But we also can't continuously sustain it with what we already have. I mean, it's a full-time job for us, just taking care of the animals, taking care of the property, and going out. We haul to the locations. We bring the horses for the kids. Some kids bring their own horses, but the majority use not just my horses, but my neighbors' horses as well. And we bring them to these events because we're trying to reach kids that don't have the opportunity to own their own animals. They don't have the space, they don't have the funding. I was the child when I grew up. I was super blessed. My parents worked really hard. My dad was a carpenter, which meant it was very seasonal. You know, your dad was too.
My father was also a carpenter. Yeah.
And so they had seasonal incomes, and yet they carved aside the time because they knew how much it meant to me to have a horse. That they helped me be able to have a horse through my childhood, which was such a blessing. But what I didn't get the opportunity to do was the events. My friends, their families were able to go to fair and do 4-H, and they were able to go do these events, and I wasn't able to because it wasn't sustainable financially, and it wasn't sustainable with our time, having working parents, and it was really hard. And it still is one of those things that from my heart, I want to help the kids in our community so that they can have those experiences, even though it is not always attainable for everyone.
Right.
And so that's what really prompted this about 3 years ago. Why we really gear this towards kids who are struggling with, and adults. And pretty much anyone who is struggling with any sort of
planet.
Any
that is like us.
like us, struggling with emotional difficulties, learning disabilities, just life. Life is hard. But when you're on the back of a horse, there's something about their hearts are huge, and they have these big, deep breath patterns, and you kind of sync up with them.
Yes.
Well, not just kind of, it's
You
scientific.
absolutely
Sync up with them. And we have been blessed with, people have given us horses that are older, that ran out of their ability to be used at the capacity they were using them, and some of them we've purchased, some of them we've rescued because they were in a really bad situation, and some of them we've just been given a really beautiful deal on being able to bring them here, and then we retrain them and we repurpose them and we help them become that kid horse that can go into an arena, that a little kid who doesn't quite know what they're doing can get out there and work around these patterns. And then every year we host at the end of the year a big event. We call it the rodeo for the rest of us. And the kids go out there, and a lot of these kids have learning disabilities, and we have a lot of kids who are on the spectrum. And these kids go out there, and watching them realize they can do it. And we don't run it like a regular rodeo because a lot of our kids are have a lot of struggles, or they don't have the background and training that a regular rodeo kid might have. We actually run it more fair style. So we have groups that are age groups as well as skill levels. So there's the novice group, and those kids will put an adult on a horse, and the horse will lead the horse around the pattern, whether that's physically with a lead rope. Some of the kids are advanced enough that they're confident and they're like, hey, I want to try, and that adult's just there. If they get a little lost, they get a little confused, we help them. If their horse gets a little bit nervous, because it's scary, all of a sudden you have an audience and you're like, oh, I don't know if I like this anymore. It was a lot easier when it was just me and one person watching me, and so they get a little bit excited, and when we get excited, our horses can get excited. And that adult on the horse is just there to offer that guidance, to help be that shepherd that can show them which way to go. And it's really beautiful. And so these are all just things that over the years we've done, and it's growing. I mean, the first year we did it, we probably had like 20 kids participating, and I think we had over 50 last year. It's really becoming more and more, and it's so fun, and it's such a blessing. And so we wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about that first, about what it is that we offer. And then we wanted to talk to you a little bit about our own journeys. So that's what we're hoping to do. I don't know if this is a video blog. I don't know if it's a podcast. I don't know what you call this.
We don't know what we're doing.
We don't know what we're doing. But it's fun. And we wanted to include you guys on this journey. One thing that Krista said, and I'm actually going to make you say it because you said it so eloquently and beautifully the other day. You talked about, we often see people's journey from the end where it's clean, and we're still in the messy bits.
Yes,
right now.
we're in the messy middle.
We're in the messy middle. So, do you want to share what that was?
Well, I had just said that, just like Talitha said, which our background, I'm sure pretty much everybody watching this will already know, but we're cousins. Our moms are sisters. And so we've grown up on these hills together as children and went all around, the country and the world, and have, not necessarily the world for me, but, we've been all over, and we came back here as adults around COVID, actually. Kind of COVID brought us both back at the same time. And it's just been such an interesting journey from that perspective that we're like literally on the lands. And I want you to tell about the how you manifested this house as a small child. That's something we need to circle back to. But anyway, what I had said, put a pin in that because it's going to be real good. Basically, what I had said the other day to Talitha was that oftentimes you hear someone's success story from the end, and for me that is very hard to connect to because I'm very much in the middle messy part right now of my life, kind of, and I don't want to wait until we have everything perfect to share our story, because I think that there's so much inspiration comes from like the life is lifing and the struggle can be very real, and so our journey can be very messy at times, but we have carved out with like sweat and tears and
copious amounts of prayer.
Copious amounts of prayer and the Holy Spirit's guidance. We have like carved out like this little piece of heaven for our families, and it's been an incredible journey. And for me personally, just being able to reconnect with Talitha as adults, like being back up here in the mountains of our youth, and then be introduced to her horses was just like such an incredible part. And that's why I'm so grateful to be a part of this, because the first time I did a heart connection with Bob was just incredible. And to be able to feel these horses like literally connecting with your heart chakra and their huge energy bodies has been a huge piece of like my healing journey from all the issues that I have faced and challenges I have faced in my life. So, and then my boyfriend, his parents have horses, and so everywhere I go, there's horses. And so I knew that the Holy Spirit was guiding me to say, okay, like horses are part of your healing. And I remember where we were in the Fred Meyer parking lot off of Federal Way, and I was like, I wanted to be something around Horsin Around, and then you had said Hope Haven, and it was just like it all came together. And I think that this is to bring hope for all ages, all humans, and everybody on the spectrum. And for me personally, having ADHD and being on the spectrum is like, horses can heal so much that I think that any other types of therapy, I've tried everything, I've tried every medication, I've tried every single thing, and horses can heal something that medication cannot.
Oh,
Don't
absolutely.
you? I mean, like,
absolutely.
and they, every time I've gotten on the horse and gone on trail rides with you guys and everything, it's just been so incredible to feel like they're like the biggest energy readers on the planet.
Yes.
And so the very first time we went on a trail ride, that was like more than just in our parking lot. I was like, oh, if I'm taking deep breaths, the horse is taking deeper breaths, and I could feel their massive rib cage expanding. And it was like, oh my gosh, like if I practice deep breathing, then the horse is automatically more calm. And so it was like the first time that I felt like a source outside of myself that reacted so quickly to energy and so quickly to how I was feeling. And I realized, like, okay, if I'm in control of my emotions, then it's going to be a good trail ride, basically.
Yeah, it's going to be a better day.
It's going to be a better day for all of us because that horse is going to react. And so, and actually on the last trail ride we went on, I was thinking about, like, hold your horses. Like, really means a whole lot more when you've got a massive, like, how many tons does a horse weigh?
They don't quite weigh a ton. You were on Juniper. She probably weighs 1,200 pounds.
Yeah, 1,200 pounds.
She's a big girl.
And so, like, to hold your horses, like, everybody says that's so, like, oh, nonchalant. It's like, no, actually, that's a huge deal to
That's
hold
a
your
big
horses. That's
deal.
a big deal. And so I think that being able, like Talitha said, to share horses with everyone in our community, because, like, even though we grew up very close and, you know, on the very same land, the only horse experience I had was your horse, or like the horses your family had, and I was like terrified of them because that one, what was that one's name that bit our arms in the darkness?
Chief was my
a little,
Appaloosa, and he was a snarky little man.
you know, he loved Talitha, but every time I walked by in the dark, because our moms would always have, you know, events going on till late into the night, and we would be going home at, you know, say midnight, and Chief would just out of the darkness, like, get the back of your arm pretty good. And so, like, that was my experience with horses growing up. And so I kind of had a fear of horses. And then to be able to do, like, our stretching, like our Pilates stretching on a horse. On a horse. And to have these, I've, you know, bareback ridden a horse. I've done trail rides, and to be able to have these beautiful creatures. And like when Juniper, they give horse hugs, like horses give hugs around you.
Yeah.
Like it is with their little, their massive heads, but it's really an incredible experience. And we just want to share this with our community and with the world, and just say, like, these are scary times we're living in. Our nation is divided, and we have found faith and hope here and through our family and our journey. And we just want to share that with whoever wants to listen and whoever wants to be a part of it with us.
Yes, absolutely. I actually think that's a beautiful place to wrap. Don't
Okay,
you?
well,
I mean, that was amazing. We will come back to sort of more of the story at a later time, because there is a lot to our story.
There's a lot to our story.
And we're excited to share it with you. If you are on here and you are just stumbling on us by accident, just go ahead and subscribe, like, jump onto our page, because we would love to have you just partner with us in this.
Yes.
Part of this for us is also healing through sharing, and not just the experience with the horses, but just our own personal experiences. And I think that this can be something that will help our whole community.
Yes.
And so we're just trying to reach out to you guys, and this is just a great way. It's a digital world. We are not at the age where a digital world is exciting for us, but you know what? We are at the age where we should be. We should be.
We're learning as we go.
So thank you again for watching, and we are excited to have you along with us. Saddle up, partners. We're on a wild ride.
We sure are. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.